In a world where military power still defines national influence, BRICS, the bloc consisting of powerful players like Russia, China, and India, is sending a loud and clear message. They are ready to assert themselves on the global stage. Over the past year, BRICS nations have dramatically ramped up joint military exercises, showcasing not just their military capabilities, but also their growing unity and strategic coordination. But why is this happening now? Could this be the dawn of a new geopolitical era? In this video, we'll explore the recent military maneuvers of BRICS, their implications for global security, and what this all means for the future balance of power. Before we dive into today's video, take a moment to hit the subscribe button to stay updated on all the latest geopolitical developments, military conflicts, and breaking news from around the world. The growing military cooperation among BRICS nations. Recent months have seen an unprecedented level of military cooperation among BRICS nations. This trend started with Russia and China, who have been conducting joint military drills for several years and has now expanded to include other members. In 2024, India, China, and Russia held multiple military exercises focused on enhancing coordination and interoperability. These drills, ranging from naval maneuvers in the South China Sea to air defense exercises over Central Asia, are not just about improving military skills, but also about building trust and understanding among these nations. Notably, during the Peace Mission 2024, a joint military exercise under the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO, framework, India, China, and Russia, demonstrated complex maneuvers involving ground, air, and naval units. These exercises are seen as preparation for handling regional conflicts, counter-terrorism operations, and even large-scale military engagements. The recent exercise held in Russia's Far East, which included over 10,000 troops from BRICS countries, focused on joint tactical maneuvers, counter-terrorism operations, and disaster management drills. This signifies a shift towards a more coordinated military strategy that could be crucial in times of conflict or geopolitical tension. The strategic timing of BRICS military drills. The timing of these military drills is no coincidence, as the world navigates through a series of geopolitical crises from the war in Ukraine to tensions in the South China Sea. BRICS countries are re-evaluating their positions on the global stage. For Russia, isolated from the West due to sanctions over its actions in Ukraine, these military exercises serve as a vital means to maintain and strengthen its military alliances. The drills help Russia demonstrate that it is not isolated and has powerful partners willing to engage in military collaboration. China sees these exercises as an opportunity to bolster its regional influence. The South China Sea and Taiwan Strait remain flashpoints, with the potential for conflict with the United States and its allies. Joint drills with Russia, India, and other BRICS members give China a strategic edge, allowing it to test its military readiness against sophisticated forces and sending a message that it has strong allies. India, on the other hand, faces challenges on two fronts: its territorial disputes with China and its complex relationship with Pakistan. Engaging in BRICS military exercises allows India to maintain a delicate balance in its foreign policy, participating in exercises with China while still countering Chinese influence in the region. For Brazil and South Africa, increased military cooperation with BRICS serves multiple purposes. It not only boosts their military capabilities through exposure to more advanced military technologies and tactics, but also strengthens their geopolitical standing by aligning with a group that challenges the existing Western-dominated global order. Countering Western influence, BRICS military exercises are often viewed through the lens of geopolitical competition. The West, particularly NATO, sees these activities as a direct challenge to its influence. BRICS nations are pushing back against what they perceive as Western attempts to dominate the global security architecture. By increasing their military cooperation, BRICS countries aim to create a parallel security structure that can counterbalance NATO and other Western alliances. In the 2024 Vostok military exercises, Russia and China focused on scenarios that included hypothetical NATO aggressions. This was a clear signal that the two countries are preparing for potential conflict scenarios where NATO could be a key adversary. Moreover, India's participation in such drills is significant because it illustrates New Delhi's strategic autonomy, maintaining strong defense ties with both Russia and the United States while not fully aligning with either. These military exercises are far from being mere symbolic gestures. They represent a significant leap in both scope and sophistication, encompassing a wide array of modern warfare techniques and strategies. The recent drills have highlighted the BRICS nations' readiness to cooperate on multiple fronts, ranging from traditional ground and naval maneuvers to advanced cyber warfare capabilities. The Indra naval drills in the Indian Ocean, for example, were not just routine maritime exercises, but were designed to test the capabilities of BRICS countries in highly specific and strategic scenarios. Involving major naval forces from Russia, China, and India, these drills focused extensively on anti-submarine warfare, a critical area given the increasing deployment of advanced submarines by other global powers in the region. The exercises included deploying and detecting submarines, engaging in mock torpedo attacks, and using sonar and radar technologies to detect stealth underwater threats. Additionally, the drills simulated scenarios involving the protection of strategic maritime routes such as the Strait of Malacca, through which a significant portion of global trade passes. The ability to secure these routes is vital for all BRICS members as they rely heavily on uninterrupted access to global markets for their economic growth. Joint maneuvering exercises were another critical component of these drills. The coordinated operations included multiple types of naval vessels, from destroyers and frigates to support ships and aircraft carriers, working in unison to achieve complex tactical objectives. The drills also emphasized logistical coordination, ensuring supplies, fuel, and personnel could be efficiently deployed and sustained in a conflict scenario across vast oceanic distances. By ramping up these military drills, BRICS is sending a clear message to the West. They are not just an economic bloc, but also a strategic alliance with significant military capabilities. The growing frequency and complexity of these exercises indicate that BRICS nations are prepared to counter any external pressure, whether it comes from sanctions, military threats, or economic blockades. For instance, during a recent meeting, BRICS defense ministers emphasized the need for cooperation in safeguarding each nation's territorial integrity and security interests. This marked a shift from just economic cooperation to active military collaboration, presenting a united front against perceived Western aggression. Furthermore, the drills also serve to solidify internal cohesion among BRICS nations, showing that, despite their differences, they can coordinate effectively when facing common threats. What does this mean for global security? These developments have significant implications for global security. A more militarily active and coordinated BRICS could potentially alter the balance of power, particularly in Asia, the Indian Ocean, and parts of Africa. As BRICS continues to enhance its military cooperation, other countries might feel compelled to rethink their alliances. For example, smaller nations in Southeast Asia or Africa may consider joining BRICS as a way to hedge against Western dominance and secure their interests in an increasingly multipolar world. On the other hand, these exercises could also increase the risk of unintended confrontations. If BRICS countries continue to conduct military drills in contested areas, such as the South China Sea or near NATO's borders, the risk of miscalculation or accidental clashes could rise, potentially leading to broader conflicts. The future of BRICS military cooperation. The million-dollar question remains, will BRICS transform into a formal military alliance? While the idea is still speculative, The increasing frequency and scope of their joint exercises suggest a growing desire for deeper defense cooperation. If BRICS were to formalize a defense pact, it could dramatically reshape global alliances and security arrangements. This would mark a shift away from a unipolar world dominated by the United States to a more multipolar global order where different blocs vie for influence and power. For now, BRICS countries maintain that their military exercises are purely defensive and intended to enhance security cooperation. However, as geopolitical tensions continue to rise, the line between defense and offense may become increasingly blurred. The ramping up of military exercises among BRICS nations is more than just a show of force. It's a signal of changing times. As these nations continue to assert their influence and challenge the status quo, the global community must adapt to a new geopolitical reality where the balance of power is constantly shifting. Whether BRICS becomes a more cohesive military bloc or remains an economic and political alliance with strong military undertones will depend on the evolving international environment. But one thing is clear, BRICS is no longer just an acronym, it's a force to be reckoned with.